Alright, so we're back, and the lizard people haven't came, and the overlord hasn't come yet, so I guess we're still alive! We're the Trophy Husbands. I am Marcus.
I am Nick.
And I am Steve.
And we don't have Luke, as obvious, because I get to sit in his comfy seat again. I actually get, a back to this time.
Yeah,
again.
moving on up.
Anyway, as Marcus was kind of hinting towards, we hope you guys enjoyed our little extra episode that we were able to give out this past week. I mean, it was just kind of one of those things where all of us had... And I mean, we've tried to keep this show as non-political as possible, but all of us had something for it to say, and I mean, it was pretty much almost 2 episodes worth of an episode that I feel like all of us had something we needed to just put out and vent, and we had a good time, so we hope you guys were able to enjoy that as well.
Absolutely.
But the lizard people have not taken over. Let's wait now until, I think it's January 20th that he's sworn in. So I mean, if it's after that and the lizard people haven't taken over, then, we'll see what happens.
Maybe he's just denying their existence, like that whole KKK situation.
Exactly.
No, the KKK are the lizard people.
But, anyway, you know what? KKK, speaking of white power and everything, we've got a whole lot to go on for this episode, so let's run into it. Before we get on to the whole white power thing, let's start on a happy note and just discuss what happened this past weekend. So, excuse me, what was your guys' Friday like?
Well, after...
We're recording on a Sunday, by the way, folks.
After I stole the jailkeeper's uniform, I left the internment camp and...
Why'd you do that while I was taking a drink, you dick?
Genuinely placed. Let's see, Friday I worked, and then afterwards, I just went out for a little bit, and then hung out over at my friend Tori and Dylan's place, and then me and my one friend Austin, one of the guys I'm trying to get on that do the podcast for the York Review.
Oh, right.
We swung over to Murph's, hung out there for an hour. We went back, and then we just hung out more, and then that was that. And then Saturday, I just kind of worked on homework for a good chunk of the day. Took a solid nap, which is always good. And then
I suppose it was partially solid naps. Those are terrible.
Yeah, the mushy naps are awful. Sediment naps are fucking ugh.
It's just all these pieces in between. They're no good.
No, they're not. And then Hack was having this free thing for students where you could go to Rollerway and skate around for free. And I hadn't been roller skating.
Oh my god, I haven't been there since elementary school, dude. We used to have I think it's monthly or bi-monthly skating nights with my elementary school, and God, I haven't been. I can't even tell you the last time I was rollerblading. It's been probably over a decade at this point.
Yeah, I hadn't.
So funny.
Huh?
Sorry, just rollerblades in general are funny.
Well, I mean, are you thinking of the blades or the 4?
Yeah, the 4 make more sense than the...
Well, you see, I always did the actual blades. I was never a 4. I think I had, the little 4 blades, up until I was, 4 or 5, and then by, 6, I was alright, I can get, the skinny blades, where it's basically, you're ice skating. Because, actually, the first time I went ice skating was only maybe 6 or 7 years ago, but, I hopped on them, and I was oh, this is just, rollerblading. I was oh, okay, no problem. Because I rollerbladed a boatload when I was a kid.
I'm a quads guy myself.
Oh, do you do the 4s?
Yeah, I like the quads, but way better than rollers. I just feel I'm more stable.
No, I get you, because, even when you're standing still on those, it puts a strain on your ankles kind of thing.
Yeah, because you're just leaning in. So I went full up quads, busted my ass one time, but it was still good. It was still a good night. And then we just went out to Merce per usual. Afterwards, met up with Eric, Sam, Alex. My one friend Colleen was there. Her good friend Rachel was there. And just kind of...
Not my Alex, by the way.
No. Your Alex was shooting you daggers. for fucking Wednesday.
Yeah, you know what? We'll hit on that before she actually was shooting me daggers, just because she kept on texting me this weekend, like, I miss you, and blah, 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 blah. But, so Wednesday, we recorded the political podcast.
Yes.
And lately, because we are waiting for some new mics that Steve ordered to come through and whatnot, we've been recording on my iPhone 6, so, like, props to the Apple people, because, like, the last 4 or 5 episodes have sounded really good, considering we're recording on my iPhone.
Yeah, they have.
But, I set my iPhone to Do Not Disturb, and we started recording around, like, I don't know, 5:30, quarter till 6. Alex got to my apartment around 6. And Do Not Disturb, for any of those who do not know, is a setting you can put on the iPhone where no texts, no phone calls, nothing comes through. So we, as you guys know, like, it was a really long episode, almost 2 hours, so we didn't finish until close to 7:30 or so. And Alex had been standing outside my apartment since since about 6:10 kind of thing. So I felt like a terrible boyfriend, but at the same time.
So, question, Nick, how's the doghouse feel? Is it roomy?
You know what? I broke myself out of the doghouse that night. I'm just that good.
Hey, man. Whatever you grabbed her by, that's all by you.
God, that's going to put me right back into the doghouse.
You grabbed her by her feelings because you made her feel good.
Well, you watched...
Ew.
Yeah, you did watch the Dave Chappelle thing on SNL,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Sad part is, I'm staying in one of Trump's hotel rooms right now. But I have to say, they're really well built. The maid came in, and I just grabbed her by the pussy.
I haven't seen that yet. I've only seen the election portion. But anyway, going back then to the weekend, Friday, I left town. I went to my grandparents, which are a little bit north of Altoona, for anyone familiar with Pennsylvania area. Anyone who's not, it's maybe like hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Pittsburgh. A small little town called Crescent. I was up there at my grandfather's for my cousin's wedding that happened on Saturday. But you know what? The interesting, or at least funny part of it, is I get up to my grandfather's around 8 or so. And, like, my grandfather's up, and the guy's 84, so, you know, old guy.
Yeah.
And he still feeds me and whatnot, but around, like, 9:30, he's, like, we're sitting watching some basketball game. He's pretty much falling asleep in his chair. And then around, like, a quarter till 10, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, Nick, like, I'm gonna go to bed, I'm like, oh, don't worry about it, Pap. Like, that's why I always call my grandfather's Pap. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it, Pap. Like, you go to bed, you go ahead and sleep. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, there's beers in the fridge, and then, there's other stuff over at the bar. And, like, my grandfather in his basement has a legitimate bar. Like, it's a small little bar, but I mean, legitimate bar with, like, an actual bar with stools at it. And underneath are, like, your bar glasses, wine glasses, your pint glasses. And then below those are various forms of liquor and wine. And he's just like, just help yourself, make yourself at home. And I'm just like, all right.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I mean, you know, we're Irish and German. What do you expect?
Right?
So, I'm getting a text from Marcus then, who's just like, yeah, like, something's not right about the episode that we uploaded.
Yeah, it was being all sorts of fucky, and I was trying to, like, download it, and it would only download 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm just like, we have way more material than this, damn it.
Yeah, how about it? So I was like, okay, I'll see about trying to edit it. And my grandfather's PC is probably about 12 or 13 years old at this point, and he is still running. Fortunately, not on dial-up, but close to it. He is running on DSL. So I told these guys, I'm like, and this was around like 9:30 or 10 that Marcus brought this up and saying, like, this isn't really working, like, we need to fix this. I'm like, alright, I'll fix this, because I had nothing better to be doing. And I'm just like, alright, I'll fix this, but I'm working at the speed of DSL. So I think it's about two and a half hours later, and about 9 shots, 3 or 4 beers later, I finally got the episode fixed, because, like, that's how long it took me to download Audacity and all that kind of stuff.
Shit.
And, like, upload and download the episode and all that kind of thing until I finally got it back up. But, I got the episode fixed. But then, beyond that, we got that all set up. And then for me, my Saturday, personally speaking, is, my little cousin got married at 1 o'clock. It's a beautiful ceremony. It's Catholic, like we're a very Catholic family. So Catholic church, Catholic ceremony, very beautiful, very nice. I was dressed up in a suit. I was sweating my balls off because this is a mountain town. Like, this is a mountain town, and their high for Saturday was 36 degrees. And so they have their heat cranked up to like 70 kind of thing.
I see.
And I'm in a full suit, like jacket and all. And so afterwards, I'm like, I will meet you guys up later. I'm going to run back to my grandfather's for a quick second. I didn't say why, but the reason why is because I had to throw my shirt into the dryer because I had sweated through it. So then we went to the reception at 5, and beautiful reception, very great place. It's called the Column in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
And I texted my high school group of friends. I was like, I made the biggest mistake of my life. It's an open bar, and I drove myself here.
Ooh.
But, you know, the fact of the matter is like, if it is a friend's wedding, I'd feel much less conscious about it, but since it's a family wedding, I'm just like, you know, I drove myself, that's fine. Like, I don't need to be getting messed up in front of my family kind of thing.
Nick Lentz gets swifty with the family.
Exactly.
Volume 1.
Exactly. So I was like, you know what? Like, oh no, it's okay. It's okay. So,
So did you only have like 5 rum and cokes this time?
you know what? I ended up only having 3 beers, period, over a 5-hour span.
Dude, even I could do better than that.
No, you know the reason why? The reason why is because, and I feel like the spirit of Marcus invaded me on this one. I was out on that dance floor like it was my job, son.
Dude, when you get into the zone,
Dude,
it's just like...
you know what? The only thing that broke me from my zone, because I was out there on some songs I didn't even know, but they were still like a little hip-hop-ish, like a little poppy kind of thing. I was like, I still got this, but the only songs that broke me out of my zone, and now mind you, this is like mid-western Pennsylvania, on a mountain, like very country-esque area, were the country songs. Like, whereas like, oh, you got me line dancing on this, and I'm like, I ain't about that, John. I don't know how to do this.
I still gave it a whirl. I'm like...
I mean, if I had known... Well, the thing is that the groom and his friends knew how to genuinely line dance. Like,
Gotcha. So
I would have just looked like a complete idiot even trying kind of thing.
I still went for it, man. Like...
So, well, you see, I took those times, because it was like 5 or 6 hip-hop, pop songs, whatever, and then a country song where they were line dancing, and then 5 or 6 hip-hop songs. Like, and I would jump out, I'd go up to the bar, and I'd be like, water, please! I was drinking my water, because legitimately, I was sweating. I was sweating, because I would be out there for like 7 or 8 songs, and it would be like, shoot, I can't think of the performer for it now, but the one song for the night was the jump, 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 and it was so funny because like everybody else, even like these little energetic like 12 or 13-year-olds, like ran out of energy. They couldn't keep jumping the entire song, and I'm just like, I got this, son. Like even this one kid here, I think he might have been like 14 or 15. Like he came up to me at one point and he complimented me. He's just like, you really know a lot of music. I'm like, yeah, I do. And I remember, I felt like I was imbuing the spirit of Marcus, because there was one point where I was like, okay, I think I'm done. Like, regardless of what song comes on next, I think I'm done. Like, I need to go out and get some water.
Gotta rehydrate.
Exactly. Next song that comes on, the wobble.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, brush my shoulders off. Let's show these kids how to do it.
Got one more in the tank. Let's go.
Nah, dude, I was seriously dancing until the last song. Not only that, but at one point they started playing "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey.
Oh God!
And it wasn't even the end of the night. They played that maybe around 9:30. I don't think the night ended until close to 10. But they played that, and I was just like, I literally said this out loud in front of all my cousins, my aunts, and my uncles. I'm like, oh my God, this is my jam. And they just started looking at me like, what? And I started belting the song out. And
They don't know.
exactly. And soon, well, the thing is, like, soon enough as I started doing that, they are just like, they vibed on my enthusiasm for the song. And soon enough, like, they're all belting it out and doing, like, my, like, actions towards the words and whatnot. Because, I mean, obviously, that's not really a dancing song that much.
Yeah, it's kind of like link arms and sing and scream into each other's ears.
Exactly. But it was just entertaining. I think the funniest portion of it, though, was there came a point where I think it happened pretty early on. Like, the whole thing started around 5, and I think it was around 8 o'clock-ish. Like, I kind of stopped and looked around, and besides my cousin's main family, like her father, her mother, and her brother and sisters, the rest of my family had left, like, including my grandparents, the other cousins, my brother and my sister, like, everyone had left except me. And I was still out, like, rocking it at one point, and I remember one of my cousins just looked at me like, Nick, how do you have this much energy? And I just kind of laughed, and I'm like, ha! I'm like, what time is it? 8:30? I'm like, girl, this is one of my my female cousins, a little bit younger. I'm like, girl, like, this is just beginning of the night for me. Like, 8:30? Like, come on now. Like, this is hardly even, like, the beginning of the night for me. Like,
that's pretty much like my family when it's like a wedding or a reception or something. It's just like, all right, dance floor, let's fucking do it. And then everyone's just a sea of people all over the dance floor. Like, you remember when my cousin DJ came out?
Oh, dude, yeah,
we were all over the place. Like, it's just like, no dance floor is safe. But when we were out last night, they threw the wobble on, and it was like, it was a little bit faster. It was probably like one and a quarter, a little bit faster than it normally is. But Dante and I were out there. We were just,
rock.
Yeah, we were still doing it, and it was funny because these girls were trying to keep up with us, and they didn't know. It was just like they're doing it so well. Look how fast they're going. And me and Dante were just like,
we got this,
killing it, and they just couldn't keep up.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I honest to God, like, I love Dante, but honest to God, I hated when he was working there, and he'd come out and he'd start doing the dances, because I'm like, God dang it, Dante, like, I could do them decent, like, I could do them well enough. Now you just make me look like that white idiot who can't pull jack squat off.
Just gotta practice. You gotta.
Well, I mean, no, like, last night, like,
yeah.
because they did the wobble and the Cupid Shuffle, and legitimately, and I just happened to see it out of the corner of my, like, peripheral vision both times. Legitimately, there were other relatives of my cousin being like, oh, he knows how to do it. Like, watch him. And I was like, yeah, watch it. Like, I felt good about that.
You should go back. You should get a time machine. You should get a +1. You should bring me along. And we can just, like...
I had a +1, but Alex couldn't come.
Dude! I would have fucking went. You don't understand. Like, I get to go to a wedding. I get to dress up. It's an open bar. And they actually had, like, solid music. I had been all over the place. It was like... So, like, are you...
Dude, you have to understand, I have never brought home a girlfriend.
I just think
it would be terrible if I was like...
I just think it'd be funny if you're like, we heard Nick was dating somebody, but damn.
That's exactly it. Everyone kept on asking me throughout the entire weekend, like, oh, Nick, where's this girlfriend? And, like, for those who knew, like, her name, like, oh, Nick, where's Alex? But I'm just like, oh, she's working. So it'd be even worse. I'm like, hey, this is Marcus. He's my +1.
I don't give a shit.
You don't, I fight.
So?
You gotta understand.
I know.
Very Catholic. Very Catholic.
And I get what you... I'm just going to say that, hi, my name is Marcus. I don't touch Nick's penis whatsoever. I just came because I like weddings.
I'll just wait and be like, we're waiting for marriage. Which we know you're against as well.
Guess who's not invited to the fucking wedding? I don't give a shit. Oh, you went to a wedding with it. You're damn right I did. We fucking burned the place down.
Oh my! If you had been there, oh my god, that place would have been on fire, dude.
Of course.
I'm kind of. Can we? Marty, where's the time machine?
At 8 miles per hour. I don't give a shit.
20 gigawatts.
Yeah, a wedding. There's open bar. There's dancing. You just pretty much described how I would like to spend a Saturday.
Look, it's either this upcoming June or July. My other cousin is getting married. If Alex can't make it, you're on the list.
You're damn right. Fucking bro it up. I don't give a shit.
Bro date, what up?
Hell, bro
You
date.
guys should get fake wedding bands.
No, see.
Exactly.
No. I'm going to get a fake wedding band because then I'm going to play like the fiance in distress card.
No, he's gonna pull the George Costanza from Seinfeld.
Yep.
There's the one episode where he started wearing a wedding band, and like all the girls started hanging out. I'm like, oh, it's such a shame they married. He's like, wait, no, I'm actually not. Like,
It's like, shh. Catherine doesn't have to know.
exactly.
Who's Catherine? You don't have to know.
You don't have to know.
I don't even know.
I'm claiming temporary amnesia. That's what I'm doing.
Is that thing temporary?
It is now, for the sake of this wedding.
But anyway,
Wedding Crashers 2. More Wedding Crashery.
in a roundabout way, though, that was pretty much my entire weekend. I drove back downtown or down here today. Steve, how about your Friday and Saturday?
I didn't really do much. So, yeah,
No?
that's it.
Nothing?
Nothing really.
Remember, Steve? You remember?
Remember we didn't do anything? Remember that?
You remember when you did that nothing?
It's a
Oh
whole
my
lot
God.
of nothing.
It was hilarious because yesterday, so Sam and I, there was this
Hartman?
Yeah, Hartman. There was this girl that Sam was kind of digging. So I was just like, yo.
Was he trying to claim she had a good butt when she did it?
Not this time. But,
She had a good butt.
whatever. I was kind of like, man.
Personally, I'm not gonna argue. I already did my argument on that. I
Yeah.
can't do it again.
I've done my thesis on salmon butts. Let it breathe.
On salmon butts?
Sam and butts.
Oh,
Not salmon butts.
I thought you were talking about salmon butts. I'm like, why are you looking at fish butts that
Yeah.
closely?
The great import of Minnesota.
Salmon
The
butts.
salmon butt. It thrives.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
But
Anything for a cheap joke.
ha. Yes. Well, they're all cheap because we don't pay shit.
It's
What do
true.
we get paid?
Neither do you, folks. It's all for free.
Yep. Yes, it is. But so
Salmon butt.
that's never not going to be funny.
It really isn't.
But Dante, because I had made plans with Sam because he likes some chick, and I was just like, yo, well, her friends are pretty cool. Why don't you just invite them all to hang out? I'll come hang out. Like, it'll be all of us, and we'll just like pregame or whatever. So that ended up not happening. But Sam and Dante met up, and then Dante calls me, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm just like,
Chilling.
Yeah, and I'm like literally in bed, covers up to my nose. I'm just like, I want to go out eventually, but now's not the time. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. That just makes me think of Friday when you were texting. We were just like, what's everyone doing? I'm like, I'm 3.5 hours away working on the episode at the speed of DSL. And you're like, Luke and Steve were like, oh, nothing. And you're just like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to bed. Like, at like 10:30.
bet it is. Because that night I was trying to find, and like nobody was really doing too much of anything. So I had texted you guys. I had Austin finally got back to me, and that's when I ended up going and hanging out with them. But I texted Austin, I texted Swala, I texted
Swall friended me on Facebook the other day.
Yeah.
So shout out to Swall.
You gotta get on the episode, you bastard.
Absolutely.
But Eric was in State College, Libby was working.
I saw Eric was on State College from Snapchat. You know, I feel like he always snaps like a billion snaps when he's up there.
He snaps a billion snaps regardless. I
wonder if he's performing tonight, actually.
He might be.
Because it's open mic night at the Hound. I was down there last weekend.
But, so I was just shooting everybody messages to see what was going on. And then, so there was that. But yesterday, Dante was like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, chilling. He's like, yo, we're at the house. Well, alright, cool, I'll come meet up with you guys around 10. And it was like 9-something.
Ouch.
So, I lay the phone back down, slap my headphones back in, and I'm like, back to bed. And then I told them I'd meet them at 10. And I look at the clock and I'm just like, oh, 10:09. 10:30 it is. I typed that on my Twitter. Like, I tweeted that. And then it was funny, because my phone vibrates, and it's just like, oh, Twitter. Dante likes your tweet. I'm like, ha!
I didn't even see that. I mean, I was still in the middle of my dance frenzy, but you know.
Yeah, still in the middle of killing the wedding. I don't give a fuck, man.
Dude, for real, I resurrected the dance floor of that wedding several times.
Just
like, I was Napoleon Dynamiting it, where I was like doing it practically by myself, just like rocking out, and then other people like, oh, it's okay to dance bad. Alright, because I'm like, you know, you can't dance worse than me.
Just gotta go for it, bro. That's all you got. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious because when I was chit-chatting with Colleen and Rachel was just like, oh my gosh, I want to dance.
Rachel?
No, different Rachel. She's like, oh my gosh, I want to dance, but nobody's on the dance floor. She's like, I need at least 15 people on the dance floor, so I'm not the only one. And I'm just like, why don't you just go dance if you want to dance? She's like, but like everybody's going to watch me. And I'm just like, go.
I remember the one time that I was drunk enough pretty much because I'd gotten there at 8. I think this was on Friday or Saturday. I'd gotten there at 8, and it was me and Drew Green. That's who it was. Me and Drew Green were sitting chatting. We had a beer or two, and then we got into like this shot off kind of thing. Like, it wasn't even like who can take the most shots. It's like who can buy each other the most shots. And so like I ended up doing like 8 or 9 shots before 9. And then doing wells and whatnot, and like, you know, the dance floor doesn't really develop until like 10:30 kind of thing, but it's around like 9:15, 9:30, I was drunk enough where I was like, I don't feel good, like, I feel like moving, like, I feel like grooving, and I'm just like, and once I'm on the dance floor, they're playing, because, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna do it by myself.
Yeah. I just think it's hilarious that people just like, I don't dance unless I'm drunk. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Go out and enjoy yourself.
No, I mean, that's how I was last night, because, I mean, normally I'm kind of that way. Like, I definitely am. Except when, like, Cam would drive me out for the Cupid Shuffle or the Wobble. I'm normally not much of a dancer. Yeah. But last night, like I said, like, I drove myself, so I knew I had to be sober to drive home. So over a 5-hour period, I only had 3 beers. And 2 of those were Miller Lite, so, yeah. So, basically, like, a beer and a half. But at the same time, like, I do enjoy dancing. I know I'm not good at it, but I do go out and I can have some fun, and you know what? The one song I did request from the DJ was, the Beatles' Twist and Shout, and when that came on, I was just like, oh yeah!
That's always a good one.
I mean, that's a classic for weddings, honestly.
Yeah, Twist and Shout is a good one, or something like, Shout.
That one came on as well.
Nice.
A little bit softer now, a little bit softer now. Yeah.
Yeah. I would have burned the dance floor down with you, but yes, I will take you up on your offer.
Next June or July. I think it's June when my next cousin's getting married. If Alex can't make it, you're my +1.
Just say, hey, Alex, hope you don't get the flu.
I'm gonna let Alex know about this right now, just in case, because Marcus might be aiming to, like,
A man in a spy outfit broke into the CDC earlier today. He grabbed every possible contagion.
With an antidote. We're not trying to kill anybody. I just want to go to a fucking wedding. It's not just like, here's the fucking measles.
so is this,
Nick
is
and
this
Alex are sleeping in bed, and then Marcus comes out from the ceiling.
Meanwhile, I have like my phone plugged in on YouTube, just
Opens up the vial. Gotta make sure I only give her one drop to kill her.
like accidentally like sneeze, drop the vial.
Slow motion grab. And then one drop just falls out.
So
Perfect.
have we just found the newest villain for the husband's verse of villains and superheroes, German?
German with his diabolical plot to be the +1 at every wedding.
Exactly.
You said it. You said
I
it.
still think the only good superhero or the only good guy that we have is Coffee Man. Like,
But that's just like
he's fighting a world of villains.
that's like when Batman first started. Batman was the only person that was good, and then eventually you got like Nightwing and Robin and Red Hood and Bat Dog. But he was the first one, so like you know.
You know, Coffee Man will bring it up to Latte Boy.
Yeah, Latte Boy, and then you know, Latte Boy will
Can't
eventually.
steam that milk all on your own.
Latte Boy will eventually go and evolve or grow up to be
Like-
Cappuccino Man.
And cappuccino, and then he'll have his sidekick Espresso Girl, and they'll just go.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
And then you know, in the other canon verse, he has Barista Boy, but he goes rogue, and then you know he becomes the grounds gunman, and he like you know he fucks everything up, and it'll work.
It'll work out. It'll all work
It'll
out.
work out in the end. Don't worry. Coffee Man has got this. And if he doesn't, what they're going to do is they're going to, you know, just run the comic into the ground, wait a year, and then fucking reboot.
Reboot.
And it's just like, the new Coffee Man Adventures. The roast begins.
Even grittier.
We're trying for a new demographic here.
We're making him black this time.
I'll take it.
Get it? Coffee Man black. You know.
Yeah. I'm in. I mean, can't be any worse than the new Fantastic Four movie, so.
Oh God, no, it can't.
We just
I didn't
said
even see it, so I can't even judge it.
the same, but I heard it was awful.
I was about to say, I haven't seen it either, but I saw the trailers and I've heard the reviews and I've heard Luke talking about it, and he's like, it's awful.
Honestly, movies weren't that good this year. They were okay.
That's how I feel about movies in general. I don't like to go to the actual movie theaters because I can't watch it at my leisure.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way just because I have a weak bladder. I really do. I'll be the first one to admit I have the bladder of a little girl. I like to be able to pause my movies and be like, alright, I have to go tinkle.
This is Nick time. We're going to pause this. I'm going to get my Reader's Digest, and I'll see you guys in about 15 minutes.
Not even, man. I'm just like, I need time to go piss, grab a new beer, or something like that, and I'm like, alright, I'm good to go again.
I just like the ability to pause things, walk away from them, and come back, as opposed to, I paid $12 to sit here for 2 hours. I have to like this.
It's kind of worthwhile now if you go to Regal, because it's like,
Oh,
this
the
really
Regal
comfy
seats are
chair.
so comfy now.
You just sit there,
You get to
relax.
full recline, like feet up.
I just do that at home.
Yeah,
That is true.
he's right.
God damn it.
But no,
He's
I think...
pointing out all the things that are for free. Get rid of him!
Dang it!
Get him out of
Put him
here!
out!
Like, think about it. You can
Trump America, get rid of him!
He's crossed us.
I'm sorry, was that too soon?
He's speaking logically, damn it!
He's not making America great again!
He reads books. Get him!
Fahrenheit 9/11 on this.
Damn, that's a pull. Good one. Good one. Where's the robot dog, damn it? That's what I want.
I actually only read that book for the first time ever this past year.
It's not a bad book. It really isn't.
I said 9/11. It's not 9/11.
Fahrenheit 451.
Yes. 451. But, like, that was one of those books that's, like, always on, like, my back burner. Like, I always tend to read classic books. Like, I've read The Three Musketeers, Don Quixote, like, all of those kind of things. And, like, working my way into the modern classics, which Fahrenheit 451 definitely is. And then it was just this past year that I finally got to read that, and I read it in its full. Solid book for anyone who hasn't read that. But
yeah, it's a pretty good book. I remember reading it in high school, and I had a very good English teacher. She was phenomenal, and just all of the different discussions that we had. And that's what, as much as, when you're in high school, I'm just like, school, bleh, math, and books, and words, and hormones, and dances, and weird. I always liked that class because she was such a good teacher.
Well, I can say I will completely bestow this on my mother. I have an absolute passion for books. Like, I love reading. I genuinely, absolutely adore reading, the stories, the adventures I can get out of it. And I completely bestow the reason upon my mother because she used to read to us from, like, essentially from birth on kind of thing. Like, she would read to me, like, and obviously I didn't know what the hell she was saying, but she would read to me, like, up until I was, like, 5, 6, 7 years old, like, every night before I'd go to bed kind of thing, which didn't really matter because it's not like I went to bed. But, it's a proven fact. I really didn't sleep even back then. But, like, even then, though, like, she would take, during the summer especially, she would take my brother, my sister, and I to the Martin Library, like, 2-3 times a week to, like, exchange books out, like, get new books. And the Martin Library had this whole program of, like, if you read enough books, like, you get points and you can get this or this, like, that kind of thing. And so, like, that kind of encouraged it towards reading. And so, for that matter of the fact, like, I read a boatload, and then that kind of stuck with me. And it's kind of an interesting thing because it didn't stick with my brother and my sister as much as it stuck with me. Like, my brother and my sister, like, they still read some here and there. And if anything, my mom getting my brother and my sister their Kindles have actually led them towards reading a little bit more. But I've always been a huge, huge reader. And I think that's probably in part why I have, like, my worldview that I do. Because, I don't know if you ever read it. One of my, I can't even say one of my, my favorite book ever. It's kind of like a kiddie book at this point. Favorite book ever I read back when I was in 4th grade. The Giver.
Oh.
Like, they just made a movie out of it a year or two ago, which I never saw, but I heard it was garbage. But that was one of my favorite books. Like, I don't reread books. Like, I'm not one of those people. Like, I'm like, all right, I know the story. Like, why bother rereading it? The Giver is one of the few books that I will go back and reread just because the story, I feel, is so... I feel like it almost becomes so much more prominent each and every year of my life. Because the whole story of that book is about, like, a life really being controlled and being told, like, okay, well, this is what you're going to do. Like, this is how everything is supposed to be. Like, this is what society wants you to be. This is how you're best able to serve society and that kind of thing. And if they find out, like, and spoilers for anyone who hasn't read the book or seen the movie, I don't know how the movie portrays it, but for anyone who hasn't read the book, essentially they find out where the main character's little brother, who he considers his little brother, is going to be, like, his little brother is going to be put to death. And the little brother's, like, 3-4 months old kind of thing, but they find out, like, he has some deficiency, like asthma or something like that. Like, and again, I haven't reread it in a couple years now, so I'm probably wrong on that. But, like, it's something stupid why they're going to kill, like, this very tiny baby. And they're like, all right, let's kill it. And the main character's like, what? No!
Like, fuck that shit.
Exactly. And then he runs off saving this kid, and like he has no idea like what he's doing. His position was as the giver. Like he started learning things that like society, like in his society, people only saw in black and white because they lost their ability to see in color.
Gotcha.
And the giver, there's a specific job profession called the giver who he receives all these different memories and whatnot, like of how things used to be and color and all this kind of stuff. And the main character Jonas is receiving this, like he's the new giver kind of thing, and like he runs away from it because he wants to save his little brother, but he's received the ability to see color and all these kind of things and all these great things that have happened in the past, basically. And it's actually an interesting aspect because as a
Did the
kid,
giver predict Donald Trump?
no.
He did not give us that prediction.
No!
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's interesting because as a kid, when I read the book, Jonas, the main character, received this one memory of a sled ride. Like that was his big thing. Like he could receive memories from the giver.
Rosebud.
Yeah, right. I just instantly think of Family
the
Guy.
entire time. I just saved you. What was it?
2 boobless hours. I always think of that. Or no, it's 3 boobless hours.
It's two.
But
120 minutes.
But Jonas receives at one point like this sled ride, and towards the end of the book, like him and this little baby are like on the verge of dying kind of thing. And he finds this sled at the top of the hill, and he's sliding down this sled. He's like, I see this cabin log house, like, lit up by this warm fire, etc., etc., etc. And as a kid, I was like, oh, that's great. Like, he lives. Like, that's, like, awesome. Like, he found, like, where he needed to go. Like, he escaped his community. And it was funny because I remember, like, I was talking to my mom. Like, I read this when I was, like, 4th grade kind of thing. I was talking to my mom about it when I was, like, 8th, 9th grade. And my mom's entire impression, because she had read the book, too, was very much... I mean, maybe this is just an adult impression kind of thing. It's so much more pessimistic. Like, no, like, he died. Like, that was his last memory, dying. Like,
Yeah.
But I was proven right because the author wrote.
This is a song we writ.
Exactly. The author wrote 3 more books in which the Jonas character came back. And I was like, score! I was right! Optimism wins!
That reminds me
The naiveness of kids, whatever.
It's weird. No, that reminds me of a song called "The Earl King," and it's about like this. Essentially, it's a father and a son, and they're riding horseback. This was like early to late, like mid to late 1800s. They're riding horseback at night. It doesn't really give the scenery. If you heard the song, I have to play it. You would know the song from the melody because it's a very famous song.
Mm-hmm.
But the child keeps seeing things. It's
Just you describing it actually sounds very familiar.
It's almost kind of like the child sees stuff, but the father doesn't.
Doesn't see it, yeah.
Yeah, and then
I think I might know it. Like, if I heard the song, I could probably tell you what it was.
yeah. I'll have to play it for you, but it's like the child sees it, but the father doesn't, and it's almost like whatever the child sees, it's enticing the child to come with him, or it, or her, or whatever it may be, but that it's kind of like how you said, just like your mom's like, no, he died, but you're like, he lived, and then we had an entire discussion about it, because like somebody in class was just like, my professor's like, so what do you guys think that the child saw? And somebody said, well, it's obviously trying to entice the child. It could be like, it could be somebody that's trying to take the child. Or I thought that it was almost kind of like the child is dying because the entire way throughout the piece, the father's saying, like, just hold on, we're almost home. We're going to make it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. And the kid's freaking out. So I'm thinking, like,
the child's like been
like he's sick or something, because back then you could have house calls. So I'm
ammonia or whatever. Hallucinating something.
Yeah, he's hallucinating and he's freaking out. And the dad's just like, don't worry, like, we're getting back to the house, but the doctor's at the house, kind of thing. But it's just kind of like very open for interpretation.
It's an interesting thing, like you said about that, because, like I said, it is one of the few books that I have gone back and reread. And Alex, actually, for my birthday, about half a month ago now, actually got me the entire book series. Like, hardback, like The Giver and the other 3 books that followed. And I do absolutely adore the series, and like I said, like, I go back, and I don't want to say it, but at the same time, like, every time I go back and reread it, I'm like, I remember my childhood mentality of being like, oh, he escapes, he's free, and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, I feel like almost as I'm getting older and older, and I have a perspective of, like, if I slice off the other 3 books, if I slice off those other 3 where I know that he continued, if I slice off those 3, then it's like I can see from a much more jaded adult perspective where I'm like, no, he died. Like, that was his last memory kind of thing. Where I'm like, I don't want to think like that.
There's a lot of things that if you really think about it as an adult, you...
No thanks.
like kids shows and stuff like that. For example,
don't you dare try to put Mr. Rogers' name in vain.
No.
That man was a good man.
He wore a lot of sweaters.
He just wanted you to be his neighbor, man.
It's alright.
I think he had a problem. Just too many sweaters. Like,
if
he opened up his closet, it was probably just like sweaters. Like,
sweaters on sweaters.
You know when they show in like a cartoon, you gotta fill up a closet with a bunch of shit, and you're like, I'm just gonna make my room look nice. There we go, we're done.
I'm sorry, but you see, in my mentality, it's like, I feel like with almost every one of our childhood things that we grew up with, so much of it has been ruined in one way or the other. Like, for me, my big growing up things were like Sesame Street, which is kind of ruined, where the Elmo guy was like came out like he was never convicted. It was purely sensual and all that kind of stuff.
About Sesame Street,
but where the Elmo voice actor, puppeteer, whatever you want to call him, was or not convicted, but he was accused and everything. But like that ended up being like overruled. Like it didn't happen, that kind of thing. But it's like Sesame Street. Mr. Rogers, like, those are my solids kind of thing. And I'm just like, Mrs. Rogers, you're still holding strong, man. Like, everyone kind of tries to keep on accusing you of something, but, like, literally every time it happens, like, no, Mr. Rogers was a good guy. Like, he was the nicest person you could meet. Like, I remember the one time someone's like, oh, no, Mr. Rogers was racist. And then, I can't remember what it was, but somebody pulled out, like, a whole bunch of information where, like, he worked with, like, minorities and all that stuff, like, oh, no, never mind.
But it's, like, stuff like Sesame Street and cartoons and stuff, when you see them from a different aspect, it's like a whole new show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is if you go back, I mean, we talked about this with Steve Stein, with cartoons that we grew up with, where you go back on it and look on those cartoons and you can see like a whole lot more adult humor towards it. Yeah. And I can't say that and in the same way for kids shows, because I haven't gone back and watched a whole bunch of kids shows like that were meant for like the 3, 4, 5-year-olds since I've become more aware, more adultish. But Yeah, I mean, everything's going to change in a perspective as you get older.
Oh, yeah, and still, like, all the different references. Like, I still watch a fuck ton of cartoons today.
We know you do.
Oh, yeah.
Peanut and Pickle, was that?
Oh,
it?
Pickle and Peanut.
Pickle and Peanut, yeah.
Fucking Dwayne.
Dwayne! Boom!
So trying to kill us, you big jerk. But,
I mean, that one episode I watched, I was highly entertained.
But, like, I watched Amazing World of Gumball, because it's just, it's one of those, it's for kids, but there's so many adult references. Like, the one time, the cop in the show is a donut.
I mean, you could have been any more point on than if you made it either a pig or a donut.
The cop is a donut, and then at one point, in one of the episodes, I think they're getting chased by the cops for something. I can't remember. But the music in the background resembles the instrumentals to NWA's Fuck the Police.
What?
Yeah. And this is a kid's show, and my little brother doesn't get it, because my little brother's like...
Your little brother doesn't know NWA.
He's 13, and I'm sitting there, like, cracking the fuck up, because it's just like, you hear it, and I'm just like, it's fucking NWA! Like, holy shit! And then,
That's amazing!
shit, like, Gravity...
That's a lot more balls to the wall than Rocco's or Ren and Stimpy ever did.
They were just blatant, but just subtle things that like when you watched. I know you watched. Did you finish Gravity Falls? Yeah, the one where
I know you and James kept on recommending that to me. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh my god, it's only 3 seasons, but it's so.
I've only heard good things about it.
It's so fucking fantastic. Like, you need to. That's something you should queue up for the winter. Like, when it snows and gets shitty out, you should just burn through it in a day.
Hey, we're supposed to get a lot of snow this winter, so maybe.
Winter can eat a dick. Like, that's all. I hate this shit. I really do.
So you're the mailman from Hey Arnold.
I hate the rain.
I hate the wind.
Yeah.
But man, I sure do hate the snow.
Yeah, that's. Oh gosh. Although we did like putz around in Eric and I, that's what.
Yeah, that's it. You and Eric last year.
But like on Gravity Falls, the one episode, I think it was like Fierce Fighters or whatever, where they make a reference to like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and Streets of Rage, but if like they're all strictly 90s, and like the one dude looks like a combination of almost like Axel from Streets of Rage, and they're literally walking through the streets, and there's like pipes and chains everywhere, and Dipper's like, man, this street is dangerous. And he was asking for food, and he's just like, well, here. He's like, but I can't eat it this way. I must stand over it and crouch, so then that way I can eat it, because that's how they ate in Streets of Rage. Like, if you went over a turkey, you pressed the button, and you crouched, and you ate it.
That's right.
But also just different, just weird shit. Like, it wasn't a big. It was kind of made for TV, but they did a one-off of The Grinch, and it was for Halloween. But it's called Halloween Night is Grinch Night, and if you really watch it, it's kind of fucking creepy.
Like Dr. Seuss's Grinch?
Yeah, Dr. Seuss's Grinch.
Okay, because I think either the book or the Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah, no. This one, because I absolutely fucking love Dr. Seuss, and The Grinch was my favorite growing up, but as I got older, I started to like the Lorax more. But, and I mean...
Lorax is good.
I don't mean older as in, like, I was like 20, I'm just like, the fucking Lorax is awesome! I still love the Lorax.
I mean, to be honest, though, when you go back and you look at it, like, and I did this a couple years back, when we were cleaning out one of my parents' houses, like, I guess it's my dad's house. We were cleaning out my dad's house, trying to put up some stuff for a garage sale. Mm-hmm. And a whole bunch of, like, kids' books came up and whatnot. And one of them was, like, the caterpillar that eats a whole bunch of...
The Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah, that one. And then the Giving Tree, like, that was another one, a very good one.
Yeah.
But we had a whole boatload of Dr. Seuss books. And I literally sat there and read through a whole bunch of Dr. Seuss books. Just because, I mean, like, it's Dr. Seuss. It's kind of entertaining at any age.
Yeah.
And I was like, my God, like, this man, it's an interesting thing because like they're so goofy and funny and like entertaining, but at the same time, each one of those books I feel like taught something of an adult lesson.
That was the whole point. It's like they had, like, for example, Yertle the Turtle and how he's talking about like how he's the greatest and how he's gloated. It was kind of like be humble, and then the Cat in the Hat was like, you know, you should never let anybody in when your parents aren't there to supervise. And then the Lorax was talking about conservation and deforestation and stuff like that. And so for every book, there was a lesson, even if it was just like he sat in his lurkum on top of the store, like with all the weird, goofy shit.
Exactly.
And then, like when
I remember seeing the Lorax in theaters with an ex-girlfriend and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it was funny because like we came out and she looked at me. She's like, I mean, it was funny, but I didn't really get it. And I'm like, it's about conservation. Like the movie, clear. Like if you read the book, like I can understand it, or maybe you might not understand. I'm like, the movie screams at you, like it's about conservation.
Yeah, it's about conservation and like recycling, and then
I wouldn't put it past her. Like if I talked to this girl, like I haven't talked to her in like 6 or 7 years now. If I talk to her, I bet she's a Trump voter. Just saying!
We're going to leave that where that lies. But yeah.
But anyway, Dr. Seuss, lessons in every single thing. And I mean, the whole thing of, I don't know if you guys got this when you guys graduated from high school, but
all the places you'll go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I feel like that's like the most generic book that everyone gives to a graduate. And like I remember when I got that as a graduate, I'm like, you're giving me a Dr. Seuss book when I'm graduating high school? Like, what? But then like you kind of read, you're like, okay.
Yeah, because it makes sense and it's relevant, but kind of, and I actually have, somebody bought me, my friend Abby bought me a stuffed Lorax.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's chilling on my TV.
Nice.
Next to my mom, somebody gave her a bunch of stuffed Plutos, like the dog from Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
I have a stuffed Pluto and a stuffed Lorax just chilling in my room. I don't give a fuck, because they're dope as shit.
What?
Yeah, but they made a kind of like almost like a Grinch cannon. I think it was CBS ordered it back in the 80s.
You said for Halloween, right?
For Halloween, but they're kind of like back to the kids won't understand this. He has this wagon that he travels with, and like Max carries the wagon, and it's called the paraphernalia wagon. And then when he opens
paraphernalia, Cal.
Yeah, when he opens the wagon, like all the like creeps and spooks come out. But you have to think like that was almost kind of like the 80s, and this it might have been 70s or 80s, but it's just like drugs, paraphernalia.
I seriously have never seen this.
You can look it up. I'm pretty. It's like a 20-minute special.
I'm gonna have to. I've honest to God never seen this. I mean, like for me, Halloween. My Halloween special was always the Charlie Brown Halloween special.
Yeah,
which
fucking Great Pumpkin.
Exactly, the Great Pumpkin, and then Charlie Brown going around in his ghost costume, and then everyone's like, I got a licorice, I got a peppermint, I got a rock. Like, as honest to God, every time I still watch that, to this day, I start cracking up and, like, crying just because of the way, like, it might just because of the way that it was animated and the way the voice actor said just, I got a rock.
Because that's his whole bag.
I mean, that's Charlie Brown, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. There's actually a card in Munchkin, and it's labeled as a curse, it's curse. I got a rock. And then at the bottom it says, this card isn't actually a curse. You can use the rock as a +1 in combat as a one-shot item.
Where is that? What pack is that in? I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't know. I have to look through it. I haven't played in a while. So
nah, me neither.
We gotta get that rolling.
We definitely do. Maybe, you know what? We'll have to invite you up during Christmas. A friend of ours, mine and Steve's, Ian, he has like almost every expansion pack that there is. We'll have to tell him to bring it up for Christmas, and we'll get you in on it.
I'd be down. I'll be down to nerd out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like every time during Halloween, like that's my instant go-to special. I'm just like, I got a rock. But you know, at the same time though, it's the same thing. Like we got it coming up here soon in a week and a half at this point. Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like at the same time, like I go towards Thanksgiving for Charlie Brown. Like that's my Thanksgiving special, along with like the Macy's Day Parade, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I do that stuff.
Yeah. Here's my gripe with Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving, but
I was just about to say, like, how can you have a gripe
Hold on.
with Thanksgiving?
It's
It's a holiday about eating.
it's not necessarily about Thanksgiving. It's just nobody's been proactive. When you go, because it goes Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Those are the big ones for the veterans. Veterans Day is in there. Thank you as well.
Thank you, all vets. We just had that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But there's Halloween music. There's Christmas
There's
music.
nothing.
There's really no Thanksgiving music. So I'm going to make a fucking Thanksgiving album for next year, and I'm just gonna drop that shit. I'm gonna corner the fucking market.
And I mean, what would be Thanksgiving music, though?
We got DJ Turkey Ball.
Bam!
Steve speaks
DJ
like the
Turkey
first
Ball.
half hour that he has.
Comes in dropping gems.
Exactly. DJ Turkey Ball.
But I mean, I'm just gonna make it. I don't know what it's gonna be about yet, but I'm just gonna do it.
There's a pumpkin.
And a turkey.
And some wheats. I don't know what's going on here.
And we got some potatoes for mashing.
And that weird basket. No one knows why they use it.
You mean-
And then there's your uncle trying to turn those gravy drippings into gravy.
You mean the corn?
Turkey
Yeah.
drippings
It
into
takes
gravy.
so long to make a turkey. So long.
I mean, it's not that bad.
So time consuming. You gotta take it out.
I mean,
you have to
no.
baste it.
With the way that we do it, like my grandfather has like a turkey cooker kind of thing, and I've gotten up with my grandfather at around like I think it's 5 in the morning. Like when I say I gotten up, like I was awake and I heard him get up, so then I got up.
Nick, you sound like a puppy. It's like, Master's awake, yay!
It's more along the lines of, hey, I don't sleep and someone else is awake. Hey!
Same shit. Doesn't that you have to go to the bathroom?
Not that time. Not that time.
There's like a spot where the dog poops and pees. There's a spot where like Nick's like sitting next to the dog going, hey, how's it going? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Can I smell your butt?
The dog has a dish with water and kibble in it, and Nick has a dish with steak and fries from the White Rose and a beer.
I mean, I'd be perfectly fine with that, honest to God. I mean, that's probably what I'm going to be doing tomorrow night, honestly. But, but anyway, but no, like, I've gotten up with my grandfather at, like, 5 o'clock in the morning. I've done that. Like, the turkey is a little bit of work, like, definitely. We've gone at 5 o'clock in the morning, like, Thanksgiving Day kind of thing, and then, like, I have torn up the bread and everything. I've stuffed up in the turkey. I pulled out its guts first, stuffed up in turkey. I have sewn a turkey. Like, I know how to sew a turkey and everything.
That's the other thing. You don't want to cook a turkey with its guts on the inside because it
No. You want those gizzards good. Like, you take those gizzards, you want to be able to salt them up and eat them later.
No. But it actually screws up the actual turkey.
Yeah, it does. It does. You want to be able to salt up those gizzards, though, later on. Like, even if you have not had...
Gizzards person, so...
dude, if you haven't had a turkey heart or turkey liver, like, you haven't lived, man.
You gotta make gizzard dip, bro. That's not even fucking...
Not even, man. Like, you take those gizzards.
If you can't eat a tiny heart, then you aren't American.
You're not a part of Trump's America. Get out.
Oh,
If you
God.
can't take that turkey heart, deep fry it, and then eat it, you're not American.
Not American.
It's like my one friend, she was talking about going hunting, and I was like, I'll take my meat pre-killed, thank you. She's like, you're a city boy anyway. I was like, I'm a pretty city boy. You right?
I think I've said about it before. I remember the one time I was up at Alex's place, and Alex lives in the middle of freaking nowhere.
With the fancy car wash.
With the fancy car wash.
They hand out
No, they don't have a fancy car wash. They have a regular car wash where you actually have to do the work yourself. Driving through is a fancy car wash, and they don't have that. But,
They had box wine at that one. not bottled wine.
They have Mad Dog.
Yeah, there we go.
There's like a dispenser right next to the spray.
It's just a
No, they don't have Mad Dog. They have moonshine.
it's a water cooler
Exactly.
full of moonshine.
Quartz.
It's full of Hams beer.
Oh God, even below. But God, where is going with that?
Here's $5. You can buy like 30 Hams beers with that.
Oh, okay.
Let's just say it has a vending machine. Every station has its own vending machine. Just a vending machine of Mad Dog. That's it. That's all you get. And it's all orange.
No, you just saying about like, oh, you're a city boy. Made me think of it. I remember the one time I was talking. I think it's the first or second time that I met Alex's mom, and we're sitting up there talking, and I can't remember. I think I was making some comment about basically how small the place is, like how small her town is, how small the area is, and she's like, "Oh, well, I guess living up here would drive you crazy being a city boy," and I'm just like, I mean, as much as you can consider York a city, yes. I'm like, I'm sorry, York is not that big of a city. Like, I'd say it's like a mid-sized city kind of thing. It's a small city, but I'm like, no, living in here would drive me absolutely off the walls crazy. Like, I could not do it.
Especially when you have the situations where shit goes out, like the power goes out, there's a storm or some shit. I'm just like, well, it's been great living, so let me just curl up in the tub here.
Well, no, dude.
It's not like that completely. It's more like 4 or 5 hours later, it comes back on. But
well, no, like look at it this way, like
you've already eaten dead.
Look at it this way. Look
After
at
crying for 3 hours in the tub in the fetal position.
I used all the hot water an hour ago.
look at
It's ice cold.
Hear a scratch on the floor. Fucking necromancers!
come on.
We've already turned back to paganism.
They're raising the dead!
Look at it this way. Alex's parents, at their house, they do not have a mailbox. Like,
Yeah, you were saying they have a P.O. box.
exactly. Like they have to go to their post office, which is like a house that is right by them. That is just like that's where you pick up your mail. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me.
It's okay. When we went to go watch Maggie's.
I mean, Maggie's is in the middle of nowhere too. Yeah, Maggie's is actually in the middle of nowhere more than Alex's, and that's really saying something.
Okay. So, anyways, we were out there watching the dog, and we had to take the garbage to. There's no garbage man, so you.
Wait, they don't pick it up?
You take the garbage to a dumpster,
Oh God.
and then
I'm sorry,
people
city
come
boy
by-
right here. Just like I just my garbage
People
pickup.
come by and pick it up, and that's what they do.
I'm telling you, man. The first time something went wrong, fetal position in the fucking tub, this is how I die!
Just crying.
I don't know where to take the garbage.
Marcus, there's the postcard. Just put it in GPS, and it'll say, I don't know!
I have no internet connection. Give me at least dial-up.
This is like the poor man's version of like the fucking rich girl out of town, you know, where it's just like, what do you mean you don't have a butler? It's like, what do you mean we have to take the trash to the dumpster? What?
I'm with Marcus right here. I'm just like,
But it's like actual like practical shit. It's just like, wait, what? What is like? Oh my gosh, you only have one pool. It's just like, wait, you have a switch for the hot water? What the fuck is this about? Like,
what?
What are we doing here? It's like, so you're telling me, I just could.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like, you know what?
I get this image of. I've never read that Animal Farm book you were talking about.
Dude,
But
you have to read that. That's
I-
a classic.
Alright, but I get an image of like all the animals in the barn. They're just like in a row, and it's like if you go to the grocery store and they like got your favorite cereals all set up in a different row. You're like, got your chicken, you got your pig, you got your horse, you got your deer.
I
You
mean-
just like bring them out to the bludgeoning station, and you're like, okay, kill, freeze, kill, freeze, kill.
I mean, kind of, sort of the whole aspect of Animal Farm is if the animals rebelled and took over the farm, like,
what would happen, and it kind of shows how.
And then, like, the pigs kind of take control, and yeah.
Yeah, because, like, the
spoilers!
truth. But pigs are, pigs are a symbol of greed and, like, uncleanliness, stuff like that. And the pigs, essentially, the entire
The
book.
pigs become the new human. GG.
Yep, the pigs pretty much take over things and screw every animal but pigs. And I'm pretty sure, wasn't it one pig that eventually did screw the other pigs over?
I think.
Yeah,
I haven't
Donald
read that book in
Trump.
like 10 years, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was the Trump pig, right?
Yeah.
He promised the other pigs, like, I'm gonna make this huge. Everything that we've worked for, guys, I'm gonna make this farm huge. I'm gonna bring jobs back to the farm, guys. It's gonna be huge.
Make the
Believe me,
farm
I'm
great
the
again.
best at bringing jobs back to the farm.
You know, I was thinking about something I was thinking about yesterday. So we were on a long drive to get to my parents' house because we were out of this comedy show.
Oh yeah, how far is your parents' house from here now?
It's an hour and 20 minutes. But anyways, I'm sorry. It was just
No, I'm sorry. Like,
was
his
trying to
parents have moved since.
where
So
was I can't remember.
you're going back to your
comedy
parents'
show.
farm or your
Um,
parents' house from a comedy show. Yeah.
So
Sorry.
they had. Oh, I was like, because Saudi Arabia is building their first pneumatic tube to their between like their biggest cities or whatever.
Right.
To their biggest cities. I was like, how is it the U.S. has not built a pneumatic tube from Los Angeles to Washington D.C.?
Because
Like, at
we
this
don't
point-
have those oils, son.
You don't need oil for a pneumatic tube, though.
No, but I mean, that's where the Saudi Arabian riches come from, is oil.
All right. Well, anyways, what I was going to say is why?
Not to mention...
There's your job builder. It's going to take 10, 20 years to build an entire pneumatic tube from Los Angeles to Washington,
at
D.C.
least,
So you
yeah.
put all those middle American people going, I don't have a job, and you'd go,
Well,
build a pneumatic tube for us.
I mean, you'd probably end up having the same aspect of... What is it, the TPP pipeline? Or is that the trade deal that's happening? I can't remember off the top of my head. But the one pipeline, oil pipeline, that's going through America, like Midwestern America kind of thing, that everyone's been getting up in arms about because it actually goes over a Indian burial ground. And so there's been huge protests and everyone's been against it and about it. Like, pretty much any more on the Democratic / liberals leaning side has, been against it. Like, Bernie's been against it, Elizabeth Warren has been against it, if I recall correctly, but like, all of them have been against this this pipeline because it goes over ancient burial grounds for Native Americans. So I could see like almost them complaining about the same thing for the MAC tube, like, oh, it's going over ancient burial grounds, like, and I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, like, I get that, and especially with the deal that the government supposedly made, which I know has been violated again and again and again.
Of course.
With the native people of America. Like, honest to God, and I don't mean any offense with this, Marcus, but, like, if you want to look at a person that's been screwed over by the American government more than anyone else, it's the Native Americans. Like, African Americans, yes, you guys got a real raw deal.
Oh, but
No doubt,
I've
but-
known that for years, that the fucking Native Americans, they got fucked out of everything.
Everything, because
got-
they had this country beforehand, kind of
Yeah.
thing, and then you had white Europeans coming like, nah, it's ours.
Yeah, they got throat.
And then like, okay, like, you guys could just move west, it's okay, like, you guys can have that area. And they're like, nope, never mind, we're taking that too, like,
Yeah.
We're going to put this giant ugly sign up here. It says Hollywood.
yeah, exactly. And then, I mean, the government even said and gave, like, conservative land for Native Americans. We're like, oh, no, never mind, you can have this area. And now, like, that's a whole big thing where they're trying to put this pipeline through for oil and whatnot, and the Native Americans are like, no, like, this is supposed to be our land. Like, technically speaking, because there are still the Native American tribes that are also they're considered American citizens, but they are considered a sovereign nation of themselves inside the United
Yeah,
States.
they almost kind of have their own laws and regulations.
Yeah, well, they actually do.
Yeah, oh yeah,
They actually do. Like, they
their
have
own
the
police
ability
force,
to govern
and,
their people in their own area. Yeah.
Yeah, but also this is how like a gazillion movies in the 1980s started, where you built something on an ancient Indian burial ground. And shit
It went to hell and back. Yeah.
It was funny because I was after you said the ancient and battleground, I was thinking about Poltergeist. And Poltergeist, when they were filming that scene where they're in the pool with all the corpses, those are actual corpses.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they were. They actually built the set on a burial ground without knowing it.
What? Without knowing it.
Yeah, without knowing it.
Oh my god! Yeah, if you can see Marcus's look right now, like I'm about I have the same look as Marcus. Like I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was watching a documentary on it like a long time ago, and like all the weird crap that happened on the Poltergeist set. Like,
Well, that explains a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, but that shit is nothing to fuck with. And the next thing you know, you wake up and like your bed's floating and there's green light everywhere. And, it's
And,
like, nope.
and your daughter's head is spinning round and around.
like
Yeah.
I think
I don't know that's exorcism, but
the one Maggie told me is all the people that were in the movie are dead.
Uh-huh.
So, like shortly after the movie finished, a lot of them started dying.
Just like one by one. Just like
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. And then, you know.
Like some straight up Final Destination shit. They invented Final Destination before it came out.
That's probably where Final Destination got the idea.
yeah, I mean, I did like, hey, you guys see those poltergeist people? Like, let's follow that, but like make it a little more like weird.
Oh, yeah, well, this fish just happened to fly out of the tank and now it's caught in your throat and the dentist and yeah.
Turns out it was a goldfish.
God, I still remember. I don't remember which Final Destination it was, but like the one Final Destination where the girl gets her hair caught in the elevator.
I think it was the second
I
one.
think it's the second one. Yeah, that one always freaked the hell out of me. 'Cause I'm like, ah, and I was like, oh, that had to feel so bad. I'm just like, and this is why I can't have long hair. Hey, Luke, you can get caught up in that. I won't.
That was like
Miss you, buddy.
I like Final Destination 2 the best. I think actually because
It's a good one. Don't get me wrong.
Part in the apartment with the guy he's like cooking food or whatever. You're like, oh, somebody the frying pan. Nope, not the frying pan. Burns his hand. Somehow stumbles out the window onto the fire escape, and then falls down the fire escape, and then the ladder for the fire escape almost crushes his head, and then
But yeah, then it's just like, boop! It's like, almost. Gotcha! Yay!
I like Final Destination the best though. Yeah, that was definitely.
I haven't, I think I watched like the very last one, and then at the very end, it was just like, they're all getting on the plane, and one of the girls that was with us was literally screaming, like, she's like, mindfuck! Because it looped back to the first one.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, because it was like, the plane in the fifth one was supposed to be the plane that fucked up in the first one.
What? I gotta watch this now. Is this which one is this?
I think it might have been the fourth or fifth one. Because the very
Is it
end...
the one with the NASCAR thing, or is that?
I don't even remember. It's been years. Because I remember, like, at one point, you think the one character is going to die, and you're just like, oh shit, oh no, and then she finally makes it through or something, and then she gets on the plane, and it turns out it's a flight that like fucked up and crashed in one of the earlier movies, so it all looped back around, and like, I guess, I don't know if it's a big continuity hole or if it's just kind of like things happened in the same universe just on a different timeline.
That's crazy. All right, did not know that.
Yeah. But yeah, it was always just the weirdest shit. It's just like he trips over the stool and falls down and then tries to grab the light fixture and then the light fixture falls out and then boom, the light wires fall on him, and now he's electrocuted, and then the stove explodes.
You know what? That's not his fault. That is faulty
Faulty wiring!
contracting.
faulty contracting all the way. Just
Blame the contractor!
Yeah, I do. But who honestly sits there and thinks about how, because they're so elaborate, and it's just like, well, this plug malfunctions, so this light flickers, so now he trips, and when he trips, the dresser falls, and since the dresser fell, the coat rack falls, and now since the coat rack fell, it ricochets off the window, and he gets a shard of glass in his jugular.
You know, at the same time, though, and, like, obviously it doesn't normally lead into, like, that much of an extreme. I have definitely been in a situation where it's just, like, the light flickers. And then it's like, I trip over and I fall down, and I'm like, ow! And I hurt my elbow, and then I get up, and it's like, oh shoot, I slip on some water from the faucet, and I fall down and hurt my back kind of thing, and like, I get up and I'm like, ah, like I feel like an old man, and like, normally from there, like, nothing happens. But at the same time, it's just like, you know what, like, I can kind of, like, it gives you, like, that eerie feeling kind of thing.
Hey man, I too have taken a shower hungover. It's not fun.
Hey, dude, you're looking at me, I don't get hungover. I've only been hungover twice in my life, and you know I drank a lot both those nights to be hungover.
Alright. Alright. Humble brag man over here.
I'm sorry that I'm not you on Cinco de Mayo or Halloween.
Yep. Fucking happens. Let's just have an iron constitution of a fucking robot, and that's, I don't know, made by Satan, perhaps.
I mean, I'm sorry, GG, Satan bought for a reason.
Yeah.
that and a demon. But
Hate you guys.
Your liver is the walking zeitgeist.
I mean, I'm just waiting for it to give out.
I
to me,
love that
honestly.
word. Zeitgeist is
Zeitgeist?
such a
It's fun word to say. It really is.
Sounds like some sort of dish. From, like, we have a nice cream
Zeitgeist
zeitgeist.
for you tonight.
Yeah. Yes.
It's got fresh artichoke.
A good old-
But, alright guys, we're getting close to almost making this like the politic episode. Between the three of us, we have done almost an hour and a half here. I say let's wrap it up. Let's call it an episode. We have actually, fortunately, I didn't bring this up in the beginning of the episode, but during the summer there was a week where we missed an episode, which was we tried so hard not to have that happen. But we did miss an episode, so if anything, the political episode kind of made up for that, so we're kind of back on track.
Yeah, we are. It was kind of like the forces conspired against us. It was like, hey,
They really did
it
that
was
week.
like, we're going to record, and it's just like, nah, man, it's going to be like monsoon season, and there's going to be a plague of locusts, and bill collectors are going to call for bills that aren't ours, but they're just going to bug the fuck out of us, and then,
Like the Old Testament style.
yeah. What would be... Like, now that I think about it, the plagues, some of them are still relevant.
Would be modern day plagues?
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, like Wi-Fi blackout, oh no!
Wi-Fi blackout, all alcohol dry out?
Prohibition?
Prohibition?
Prohibition was a plague? Boardwalk Empires, what happens when the plague takes place?
Prohibition was a plague, let's be honest.
It's just all the fucking syntaxes. That's what
I mean, come on, even in Jesus' time, actually, this was the funny thing. I forgot to bring this up. During my cousin's wedding, at one point, the gospel that they read was the wedding of Cana. So, that's when Jesus makes wine out of a bunch of water jugs kind of thing. And during the priest's homily, the priest is asking, he's like, I mean, like, why would this be considered a miracle? Like, why would Jesus use, like, his miracles, his signs are normally considered something great? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that was something great? Jesus is like, dude, let's keep this party going!
Yeah, Jesus was always at the party,
I remember
whether they liked him or not.
I remember the one time I was trying to defend this to my co-op, because my one co-op is last year was super, super, super religious. Where I was telling him, he's like, well, like, I was telling him about, like, my weekend. He's like, oh, you went out and drank. Like, that's wrong. And I'm like, dude, Jesus went out and drank. I'm like, Jesus was the one who prolonged the drinking. Like, he was all about that stuff, man.
Everyone's like, fuck, we're out of booze. And Jesus is like, yo, hand me that jug over there. I'm gonna keep this motherfucker rolling.
JC, he's all about that drinking.
Can you imagine how annoying it would be to have that power, but people are, like, you're passed out at home in bed.
Jesus, stick your finger in this water, man.
Like, hey, man.
Dude, no.
Like, dude, we're chilling with the girls' rugby team, and we just ran out of wine. If we brought some jugs over, could you turn them into wine for us? Dude, it's 2 a.m. I'm just trying to fucking sleep. It's all I want right now. Come on. Yo, JC, hook me up, bro. I'll swipe you in tomorrow.
All you get is Mad Dog 2020. Now go away.
I don't know if Jesus ever went to college, but it sounds like Jesus is in college now.
Can we do that now? Like, Jesus in college?
Luke!
Jesus the college youth! Luke, long hair? Perfect!
Yup.
Mad Dog 2020 for all of you.
Now be Mary. And don't touch that one. Her name is Mary, and she's super fertile.
Trust me.
He put down his glasses for anyone who couldn't tell.
Wink.
Nudge, nudge.
Ha-ha!
But alright, let's call it an episode, guys. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent on that, then you guys went on a tangent.
Oh, Nick. Oh,
Whoops.
Crazy, crazy Nick in your Steelers jersey.
Woo! Go Steelers, except they lost tonight.
It was hilarious, because while we were watching SNL, I could just hear, come on! Yeah!
I'm
Nick
very
just
vocal.
He came.
Yeah.
I blame my mother. She raised me to be a very vocal supporter fan of the Steelers since I was like 3. She's been a fan of the Steelers since like the 1960s. So you know.
Yeah, I could hear you yelling, and I looked to Steve. I was just like, "So is he watching football, or is he having an orgasm?"
Little column A, little column B. You know,
Oh, man.
depending
It's
on.
always an orgasm.
Fucking wish.
Steve.
If you yell that loud, does Alex wear earplugs? Anyway, my name is Marcus. You can find me.
If we went to his bedroom right now, you just on her side of the bed. She's got little earmuffs that she puts on.
Yeah, for the shooting range, but it's just her and Nick. She's like, hold on, because last time you hurt my eardrums. Okay. The hand signal to stop is 2 thumbs up. So, here we go.
I mean, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say it.
It's like a tsunami!
Oh! It's all over the walls. Get the squeegee.
I've been whitewashed!
Nick,
I'm just gonna say before we keep going on, I'm gonna say I was just the more vocal one, not me. Just saying, just
a
saying.
likely story, mayonnaise man. Anyway, when I'm not bashing Nick, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. What the fuck is that noise?
It's the radiator.
I was just thinking, is there like a wild badger in the room? I hear something.
Surprise me, put it back there just to pop out at you right now.
Look, man, I know shit's getting weird, but you don't need a fucking attack animal in the booth.
That's funny. Outside,
We thought it'd be more entertaining.
outside right now, when you go outside the kitchen door, like if you open it up and walk outside, you can hear like something scurry in the little roof part. It's actually a squirrel has decided it wants to nest in that little roof part. So it's
Nesting squirrels.
I caught it one day and it's freaking out because I'm like looking at it. It's like I'm looking back at it. And it's looking at me. I'm like, oh, what you want me to do about it?
I mean, I could pull out my dad's trap. He has a trap for squirrels. Like, we could put a little peanut butter. We could get it away before it actually nests little squirrelings.
I think it's in there.
I'm just saying we can try and take it away.
Or you could just pull the Count of Monte Cristo and close the wall up on it.
I
mean,
snaps!
I can't really.
Put a little plaster over that, son.
Can't. Well, I'm not climbing the ladder to do that. Screw that. Because it's on the little roof part. It's not my problem. It's the apartment people's problem.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Until the squirrel overlords come and take over the apartment one by one.
Oh, that's true too.
You're gonna be like asleep and you're just gonna. And I know you're gonna hear like loud bass.
Those are my nuts. What are you doing?
Like, those fucking squirrels are at it again. Damn it! It's 3 in the morning. I have to work tomorrow.
God damn it, Chip and Dale.
Ah!
Oh, sorry, those are chips.
Rescue Rangers!
Close enough. Who gives a shit?
Alright. Close it out, Marcus!
I've been fucking whatever. Don't even with your fucking attack badgers and the fucking what? All right. You can find me. It's Marcus MARCUS. That's how you spell my damn name. Anyway, QUEZMAV. That is Instagram, and that is Twitter, and then SIRMAV is Snapchat.
And then I am Nick. You can find me on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram, all under NLenz42. That's NLENZ42.
Yeah, I'm Steve. You can find me twisting wires. And goodbye.
And don't forget to hit up the official Trophy Husbands Twitter every single week at the True Trophies for the Twitter. And then don't forget to hit us up every single week, because we will have new episodes every single Tuesday. Hashtag Trophy Tuesdays, except for a couple of special days like we did this past week for Trophy Thursdays, which doesn't even go very well. But we still did it because it was TNT. Yep. But, you know what? Hit us up. If you have any comments, questions, hit us up on the official Twitter. Hit us up on our personal ones. And, you know what? We'll be back next week, whether you like it or not.